Shabbat Shalom. I just want to welcome everyone to the Sabbath Day Conference Call. This is Barbara, and I'm serving as your host today, and also Ann is here as your co-host. I just want to welcome everyone to go to our website, lunarsabbathday.com, for more information about the topic we're going to discuss today. And we did this same topic 2 years ago. You might have watched it in July of 2020, but I felt it was important to do it again and get it out to a lot more people. So the title is The Dragon and the Gregorian Calendar. Revelation 13 tells us that the Antichrist beast is empowered by the dragon to deceive the whole world.
So they worshiped the dragon, who gave authority to the beast, and they worshiped the beast, saying, "Who is like the beast? Who is able to make war with him?" Revelation 13:3.
The serpent and winged dragon symbols are seen throughout Catholicism, and they are found originating in ancient pagan cultures. Here is the dragon underneath this Pope. And the Bible warns us of Satan, the great dragon serpent. He deceives the whole world.
So the great dragon was cast out, that serpent of old, called the devil and Satan, who deceives the whole world. He was cast to the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. Revelation 12, verse 9.
Ancient pagan cultures worshipped images of the dragon and the serpent, and they all represent Satan. Dragon is a totem of Chinese nation, a symbol of China, and it has been the highest status among animals, deified by and sacred to the Chinese people. The divine dragon is worshipped by Chinese people, from emperors to ordinary people. And here's the quote for that, and I'll leave all these links below so you can look them up for yourself. Here is, on the left, is the serpent pyramid in Mexico. This is to show you all the ancient serpents and dragons from the pagan origins in the past. And on the right is the pan-feathered serpent god, and that's an Aztec god. There again on the left is the serpent pyramid in Mexico. And also the snake god, which I already said the serpent pyramid, but also this shows the snake god on this next picture. So why does the audience hall in the Vatican look like a serpent? You'll see the windows or the images on each side of this look like eyes, and it's meant to portray a serpent in the audience hall. And then up here in the front is the altar or the throne area for the Pope. This is what it looks like as a close-up. And it's the Vatican throne, the resurrection, and these symbols are pretty disturbing to look at. Scripture states that the beast receives his power from the dragon, which is a symbol both of paganism and Satan himself. In Revelation 12:9. Thank you. Go ahead, Ann.
The great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. Revelation 12:9.
The winged dragon was a symbol of Rome, and Catholicism has made it its own symbol. And you'll see here a dragon on the marble wall in the Vatican. Even has a crown on the top of it. Ask yourself, why does the Catholic Church use images of the dragon which represent Satan? Well, Babylon used the dragon too. The Babylonian dragon of the god Marduk at the gate of Ishtar is here on the left. And Marduk was the patron god of Babylon and the Babylonian king of the Babylonian gods. Then the Vatican openly admits it embraces Babylon and pagan creeds. Here is a quote.
It is interesting to note how often our church has availed herself of practices which were in common use among pagans. Thus, it is true, in a certain sense, that some Catholic rites and ceremonies are a reproduction of those of pagan creeds. From the Externals of the Catholic Church.
Thank you. And I'll leave that link below too. So the Vatican embraces pagan creeds and they admit it. Here's another quote I'll read from the Story of Catholicism, page 37. It has often been charged that Catholicism is overlaid with many pagan incrustations. Catholicism is ready to accept that accusation and even to make it her boast. The great god Pan is not really dead. He is baptized. So remember that feathered serpent god Pan was an Aztec god, and this quote says it is still in the Catholic Church and he is baptized. And that would mean he's baptized to be able to use as a religious symbol instead of a pagan symbol. So the dragon and the calendar, that's our title. In 538 AD, Rome became the seat of the papacy. The authority of the Pope was derived from the decree of the dragon power, and to a great degree, Roman Catholicism received its power from paganism. And that was a quote too. So by adopting and accepting pagan practices into the church, Catholicism gained in power and popularity, extending her reach literally around the world. In no other area is this seen more clearly than in the modern calendar, devised for and named after Pope Gregory XIII. The entire world is united in the use of this counterfeit calendar with its counterfeit days of worship. And I'll explain all about that. Well, through Pope Gregory's papal bull, the Roman Julian calendar was reformed and the Gregorian calendar was endorsed. And Julius Caesar had changed the calendar. In the mid-1st century BC, Julius Caesar invited Sojournes, an Alexandrian astronomer, to advise him about the reform of the calendar. And Sojournes decided that the only practical step was to abandon the lunar calendar altogether. Months must be arranged on a seasonal basis and a tropical solar year used, as in the Egyptian calendar. So that is from the Encyclopedia Britannica. So the new Julian calendar ignored new moon days and instituted a calendar that was solar only, with the days of the week designated by the letters A through H. And each week had 8 days. And you might want to remember, 46 BC, this Julian calendar would have been around at the time of Yeshua when he was here on earth. And he did not keep the Roman calendar, he kept the calendar of Israel. So back to the Gregorian calendar. The Roman Gregorian calendar that is in place today is a modification of the Julian calendar. And in October 1582, it was corrected by many days and promoted by Pope Gregory XIII. The Gregorian calendar skips several days to get the calendar back in sync with astronomical events like the vernal equinox or the winter solstice. A number of days were dropped. And those vernal equinox, winter solstice are kept by paganism and by Catholic Church. The papal bull issued by Pope Gregory XIII in 1582 decreed that 10 days be dropped when switching to the Gregorian calendar. However, the later the switch occurred, the more days had to be admitted, and it took more than 300 years for all the countries to change from the Julian calendar. That means that later on in the early 1900s, when the United States finally adopted the Gregorian calendar, there would have been a lot more days to adjust than just the 10 days that were in the original 1582 calendar. The Gregorian calendar of today is a deceptive solar-only calendar. Although the weeks are 7 days long, it is nowhere near the true calendar. The Creator's calendar in Scripture is always calculated by the sun, moon, and stars. So what do historical records say of Jews about the Sabbath? Was it on a Roman Gregorian Saturday? Was their Sabbath on a Gregorian calendar? Well, this is a quote from the Universal Jewish Encyclopedia. The new moon is still, and the Sabbath originally was dependent upon the lunar cycle. And here is another great quote that I really like from the Catholic Church, telling how they changed Sabbath and feast days.
It was the Catholic Church which made the law obliging us to keep Sunday holy. The Church made this law long after the Bible was written. Hence, said law is not in the Bible. The Catholic Church abolished not only the Sabbath, but all the other Jewish festivals. From T. Enright, Bishop of St. Alphonsus Church, St. Louis, Missouri.
Dragon and Pope Gregory XIII. The dragon of Satan is Pope Gregory's symbol. Maybe you didn't know that. And he is the creator of the Roman Gregorian calendar. And there he is there with this calendar in 1582. Gregory XIII, the creator of the Roman Gregorian calendar, uses the dragon as his symbol. Here it is on both sides of him here, and I'm going to show more symbols. Here it is, the dragon in the coat of arms. This is from the lost tomb of Gregory XIII. And his coat of arms shows a dragon with a truncated tail. And that is an evil part of this imagery when you see a truncated dragon. Here it is again, the coat of arms of Gregory XIII. This is found in the papal artifacts. Here it is again on the Vatican, in the Vatican Museum with the dragon. And on the floor here, Gregory XIII, the coat of arms is again, and here it is, the winged dragon. So the Catholic Church states a dragon can be either good or evil, and there's no church teaching that says a dragon has to be evil. Dragons is not a cult, a hate group, or a secret society. The satanic dark Hydra dragon has 7 heads, and there's that quote. And this is a picture of a 7-headed dragon on a Catholic window with a picture of Mary. So Pope Gregory XIII was also the Pope who, upon hearing of the wholesale slaughter of the Protestant French Huguenots, and that was known as St. Bartholomew's Massacre, he had a medal struck to celebrate the bloody event. And the reverse side of the medal, which shown above, depicts an angel with a cross in his hand, and then a sword murdering the Huguenot heretics. So he was not about Christians. So, okay, go ahead, Ann.
And it was given unto him to make war with the saints, and to overcome them. And power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations. Revelation 13:7.
Here is the funeral monument of Pope Gregory XIII. And this in Latin says, I know his works and his faith. Here it is. This monument was made by a Milanese sculptor, Camillo Rusconi, between 1715 and 1723. And this monument represents the Pope giving his blessing on top of an urn bearing a relief showing the promulgation of the Gregorian calendar in 1582, when October 4th was followed by October 15th. Okay, so on each side of it, at the sides are the allegorical statues of religion over here on the left, holding the tablets of the law, and magnificence over on the right is a Roman soldier. And at the base of it all is a dragon, alluding to the heraldic device of the Campani family. And that is a Roman family well known for their symbol of the dragon, which Pope Gregory was part of. And here is the tomb of Pope Gregory XIII, celebrating the introduction of the Gregorian calendar. And it depicts everyone following him, and actually the whole world following his calendar. So here again is Pope Gregory XIII in St. Peter's Basilica in Rome. And in 1572, Pope Gregory XIII there, the dragon of Satan with his heraldic symbol. And all the world wandered after the beast, Revelation 13:3. The world's worship days are calculated on a continuous weekly cycle on a Gregorian calendar. That's a Gregorian calendar that doesn't have the lunar phases of the moon. It doesn't have any new moon days or phases. And all the world is keeping Saturday or Sunday or maybe Fridays for Muslims. The entire world is following the beast as they regulate the work days and holy days by a creation of the Roman Catholic Church. And since World War II, the entire world has been united in using Pope Gregory XIII's calendar. The sure word of prophecy warns us in Revelation.
And it was given unto him to make war with the saints, and to overcome them. And power was given him over all kindreds, and tongues, and nations. And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb, slain from the foundation of the world. Revelation 13:7 and 8.
So all who put their trust in Jehovah will be preserved from this evil power, even if some are called upon to lay down their lives, as did the martyrs in ages past. Jehovah will give them the strength to endure, and in the great morning of the resurrection, they will be raised up, never more to hunger, thirst, suffer, or mourn. So Scripture says for us not to fear in Psalms 37.
Fret not thyself because of evildoers, neither be thou envious against the workers of iniquity, for they shall soon be cut down like the grass, and wither as the green herb. For the arms of the wicked shall be broken, but Yahweh upholdeth the righteous, and forsaketh not his saints. He shall help them, and deliver them from the wicked, and save them, because they trust in him. Psalm 37.
For the Sabbath day to keep it holy. We know that's the fourth commandment, Exodus 28. And Revelation 14:12 says, one of my favorite verses.
Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of Yahweh and the faith of Yahshua. Revelation 14, verse 12.
So the heavens declare the glory of Yah, and the skies display his craftsmanship. To access more information about the Creator's calendar that's in the heavens, and to understand more about the false Sabbath or the Saturday or Sunday, please go to our website, lunarsabbathday.com, And thank you for being here today, and hopefully we'll be back next week. God willing.